Today, I want to start with just picking up on the passage I was reading last week. Now I've had more time to think about it. I was reading from Psalm 137. This passage is about Israel. They are in captivity in Babylon. Of course, they were sent there, or rather, God allowed them to be captured and taken into exile because they had stopped obeying God's law, and they were oppressing people. They were destroying the temple with a lot of cynicism, which I mentioned last week. To be cynical is to just do the gestures without caring what they mean or about the ethics of what you're doing. What matters is that the optics, that you are seen to do what people say you should do, or what people expect you to do, or what you think people expect you to do. So what matters more is what you do rather than the reason, the intention for doing them. And God was really angry about that, because God was saying that the people are suffering, the orphan is suffering, the widow is suffering, and yet you people are bringing sacrifices to me and they stink, because the things you are saying you do are not what you do outside the temple. Anyway, so they're in exile. And of course, it's a very bitter place. It's very bitter to be where you are not accepted, where your customs are not honored, where you are treated like second-class citizens. And so when they start to remember, but how can we remember where we came from when we are in a strange land? How can we sing the songs? The reason why this is important for me is because, like I mentioned last week, Kenya is in a very bad place, extremely bad. I don't even know how we are going to get out of it. People just don't care. They don't care to do the right thing, and they don't care about integrity. What is integrity? Integrity means if I see you today in my class, and tomorrow morning I see you in town, there's a connection between the way you behave in my class and the way I see you behaving in town. You're not schizophrenic, and I'm sure the psychology students will soon be talking about that. You're not presenting one side of you here, and then when I see you somewhere else, you're presenting a totally different person. You're consistent. You're consistent. That's what integrity means. Integrity means whole. An integral number is a whole number as opposed to a fraction. So integrity is about wholeness. But that's not where we are as Kenyans. We present one face and do the other. One of the places where it is done a lot is in the academy, in the university. People pretend that they have done work. People pretend that this is the only class they are attending. People pretend so many things and just hope that you won't be found out. And I think for me, what I find so cynical is the lack of care about, what if Mwalimu finds out? What will I say? How will I explain this? There's no sense of, I need to at least be consistent so that if I'm here today, there tomorrow, another place the next day, I'm basically consistent. It's the same person people are meeting. The principles are the same. Maybe I'm doing different functions, but my core, what I am saying and what I am doing is basically the same. I do not contradict myself. That's what it means to have integrity. In a sense, we are in a strange land. That's what I think. We are in a strange land where integrity doesn't matter. So how can we sing the songs of integrity in a strange land? How can we sing the songs of the desire to think, to be creative, to read for ourselves? How can we do that in a country where we are rewarded for cheating? How can we do that in a country where we are punished for thinking? Many of us are probably carrying traumas and dealt traumas from high school, which is something I talk about a lot. So you've learned that reading is just about pain, it's about trauma, it's about irrelevant knowledge. So why should I do the work? Let me give somebody else to do the work. So how can we sing songs of integrity in a strange land? I have tried. I don't even now know what to do, because I'm a person who is passionate about ideas, and I'm passionate about people thinking and people and truth. Truth, not facts, but truth, to say, if you're hurting from your high school days or from your undergraduate days, that you at least own it. And then you say, I'm going to embark on healing, and I'm going to embark on learning how to think. Because we can't heal if we are not thinking. We can't heal if we are pretending to be what we are not when we're in class. We spend how many years? At least, 8 plus 4 plus 4 is what? Is 16. And then maybe you spend another 3 years as a master's and another 5 as a PhD. You're spending it acting out. Acting, doing what you think the lecturer wants, what the teacher wants. And of course, it comes from our school system. That one I don't refuse. I agree that, but that's what I'm saying. We're in a strange land. We're in a strange land where we can't be ourselves. We are in a strange land where the rule of the game is to cheat, is to do whatever you have to do to get papers and to get grades. You don't care whether you're being ethical. You don't care whether you're about the truth. You're just like, I'm doing what I have to do to get the paper. That's the strange land we are in. So how can I persuade you to do the work correctly, to actually read the things I give you to read in a country where knowledge doesn't matter? How do we sing that song in a strange land? That's my challenge to you throughout the semester. I want you to really think about it. How will you be able to read in a country where reading is disparaged? How will you be able to think when you're told that's theory, it's useless? How will you be proud of the work you do when you're being told it doesn't solve problems? How will you sing a song of integrity, of knowledge, of care when Kenya is a cruel country? That's what I'm asking. How will you sing that song? Me, I still sing it. I feel alone, and it's a very lonely place to be. I was so traumatized that my students could use ChatGPT. So traumatized, even when I told them that the point of this exercise is for you to learn how to write. In fact, I'm not looking for perfection. Instead, I got fake perfection. Papers that sound like they are just bad papers. They are grammatically correct. All the citations are in place and what, but it's an empty, soulless, bland, boring, tasteless paper. And somebody actually sends it to me thinking that I will be impressed. In fact, that's the part that hurt me. I'm like, Yani, you don't know me. You've not even bothered to know what kind of a person I am. I don't get impressed by those things. I sang a song and I was alone. I was in a strange land. So I don't know if you're one of us who are going to sing these songs, the songs of integrity, the songs of knowledge, the songs of care, the songs of ethics. What song are you singing? Or are you just going to become like the strangers and be cynical